We know this is one of your favorite songs, American Pie. Well, we wanted to hear you sing it.
Korea.
Korea. The peninsula lies 6,000 miles east of the United States, in a remote corner of the Asian North Pacific.
And it was always doomed for some bullshittery because of the location.
Sitting precariously between Russia, China, and Japan, Korea was always at the mercy of its bigger neighbors.
Everyone took turns on Korea.
Have you ever heard of Korea?
No.
Suvi, you're Korean.
There's a north, there's a south. There's a north and a south, alright?
Oh.
And now, in Alan's Archives presentation.
So that right there behind me, that's the Korean consulate that they got here, right here in Los Angeles. And we had a bunch of angry Koreans here. On opposing sides, very opinionated. And I'll explain why. Or at least, I'll try to. I am, after all, a straight white male.
Koreatown, baby.
Hit boy on the beat, so bitch, you gotta go berserk.
2 years ago, after a breakup, I crash landed in a town just casually looking like this. It wasn't formally recognized by Los Angeles County till the 1980s, but the earliest settlers actually date back as far as 1902.
Newspaper articles, archival photos, and a few precious records are on exhibit at UC Riverside's Art Museum. They are the only physical evidence of the unique community called Pachapa Camp.
This is how the story goes. A lot of Chinese set to the Imperial Qing Dynasty, filling up jobs for little pay under the worst circumstances. People grew intolerant of their culture and got violent, targeting an entire ethnic group federally. With the Chinese Exclusion Act, this ban won't get lifted until 1940, when America had to ally with China to address a common enemy. But when the ban was fresh, America was still looking for cheap labor workers. And who better than the Koreans who were escaping the Japanese Empire, who came with Christian values due to English missionaries in the 1870s. Professor Edward Chang accidentally found evidence of the early settlers on a map from 1908, proving that LA Koreatown is the oldest Koreatown, and since then, it's grown to be the most Korean populated town in America. With this many Koreans a couple blocks away from each other, there's bound to be conflict within.
Conservative challenger Yoon Suk-yeol had remained neck and neck with his liberal rival Lee Jae-myung. Exit polls put them within a percentage point of each other, and so began a sleepless night for many in South Korea following local broadcasters' animated depiction of this epic struggle until Yoon emerged as winner. Just.
So, Biden invites Yoon over for a presidential luncheon, planning on keeping their country's ties, and Korean Americans have mixed reviews.
Oh, and there's his wife Kim, which the internet has their own feelings about. This meeting is supposed to be seen as a big win for South Korean people.
For 7 decades, U.S. and ROK service members have worked shoulder to shoulder, and we honor their service by ensuring that the U.S.-ROK alliance remains a foundation for peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific for decades more.
And now, we're back to the consulate.
I really didn't want there to be a problem, but then this happened.
They challenged my First Amendment right.
How you doing? Don't do that. Record? I can record.
Don't picture.
It's public space.
Doesn't want it my ass.
어떤 건전한 진보 세력이나 그런 세력이 존재할 수가 없는 것들이에요.
Not only did they happily invite the news there, but they've got 2 news stations there. And they love getting in my shot. Now, if you're constantly on the streets like I am here in KTOWN, you would recognize this guy as the guy that's always spitting Bible verses in Korean. He's that guy.
Over his shoulder, I noticed that there's a difference between the Koreans here and the ones across the street. First off, that's the Japanese flag and a Hitler stash, and these Koreans had no Korean flags. Noted! With that in mind, I start grabbing reverse shots when I noticed a younger man looking at me. I made eye contact, and he responded by communicating something to me. I lean into it, and as I guessed, he's speaking to me in perfect English.
Banner says, "We condemn pro-North Korean activists in the United States who are anti-American, they're pro-China, they're against the alliance between the United States and South Korea. They're pro-communist. Yeah.
The important thing is that we have to make North Korea never dare to resort to its nuclear weapons. Now the threat is right at the front of our door.
He's saying out loud, we support the current president of South Korea. He's a conservative right-winger. The people on the other side, they're against the current president. They're left-wing. They're friendly towards North Korea and communist China. They just don't like the current president because of his political side. Yeah.
I noticed my man from before, he was like feeling better about me. He started cooling down after I was having a good conversation with that young guy, which ended up telling him I'm cool in Korean. He came up to me, started talking to me. I was like, hold up. Why don't they have South Korean flags? You have South Korean flags. And then I got a great soundbite from him.
Okay, they don't like America.
Sorry, say that again?
They don't like America. They actually 반미주의자들.
They're actually anti-American. They hold anti-American sentiment.
Are they anti-South Korea?
Yes, pretty much.
One thing they mention is that there's a reason why you guys don't have South Korean flags.
Oh, not at all. We are more than welcome to hold Korean flag. We are proud Korean Americans. That's a groundless accusation. They are as I said, pro-government. And they want to support President Yoon, which we don't. They're very extreme right-wing.
He is very conservative. South Korea hasn't had a conservative president since Park Geun-hye. He's very anti-feminist, very anti-China, and very anti-foreigner.
They're mostly pro-China. They're friendly towards China and North Korea. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There you go. And then
you were telling me that...
Well, they're the bad guy. They're the person who get paid. Maybe government in Korea, this side, the good side, which is they're not getting paid anything. They just volunteer.
So they were protesting here for like more than 3 months. We noticed they were protesting here, so we were here to, counter-protest, and we're just angry at them. Yeah.
I just don't want to see those kind of things, Korean first president, which is a bad guy, but they like that.
So I got mad confused by this because he started talking about Ri, the first president-elect of South Korea. I didn't know this about South Korea, but it became a country in 1952. The country's a lot younger than I thought. I found a lot of people debating during the Biden and Trump rallies. It was for a documentary, and I have to say, I don't remember people bringing up George Washington. But when I think about South Korea's history, I start considering that grandparents, people who have memories of the 50s, they have memories of South Korea when it was first electing their first president. I don't know. That makes me think twice about things. Now see if you know what this guy's talking about.
When we had a war, he ran away, and then he passed the bridge, one of the bridges, and then as soon as he crossed the bridge, he exploited that bridge, cut it out. Other Korean people they cannot cross, which means he killed the people. He's a president. He killed his person, his citizen. That president is a bad person.
Alright, so honestly, I had no idea what he was saying. Oh! I chopped it up and I took out all the ifs, ands, and buts, and I found out that, yeah, he was talking about a bridge.
He passed the bridge?
Not a breeze.
Crossed the bridge?
A bridge.
Bridge?
And it took place during the Korean War, so... Let's rewind. We're about to get to the breeze/bridge. Let's go over some things right before the war, and we're also going to go over the 38th parallel. Things separating South and North Korea, then we'll go back to the breeze/bridge.
As World War II came to a close, the peninsula was up for grabs after decades of Japanese rule.
In the post-war settlement, the US and USSR took it upon themselves to decide what to do about the Korean peninsula.
The superpowers met at the 38th parallel.
And it's the dividing line between North and South Korea.
The line of latitude running through the middle of the peninsula. The Soviets would control the northern half, while the US took the southern half. Each set to work, honing a government modeled in its own image.
The intention was for both sides to help stabilize Korea and facilitate the removal of Japanese forces.
Soviet leader Joseph Stalin joined forces with the United States to pinch the Japanese out of Korea.
Get Japan out of there like that.
When World War II ended, Korea was divided in half and occupied by two of the Allied powers.
So, They just picked an arbitrary middle point and said,
Okay, you do your capitalism down there, you do your communism up there, communism up there, and we'll see how it goes.
When the superpowers pulled out in 1947, they left behind two starkly different regimes. This little peninsula wasn't big enough for both of them. The question was, who would draw first blood?
There's Syngman Rhee, the first president, and the US did not want to give him shit. The US was like, you're violent. We're not giving you any weapons. You're gonna cause World War III. We don't want that. Look what we just did to prevent it. So yeah, no weapons for you. That ended up sucking a lot, because North Korea got really comfortable.
The armies of North Korea stormed across the 38th parallel, hoping to crush the South in one overwhelming offensive. At outposts all along the border, South Koreans and their American military advisors were overrun, caught completely off guard.
As a result of this war, people were trying to flee, and so many lives were lost.
Terrified South Koreans rushed to escape the city.
Here comes the breeze.
Roads leading south over the Han River were jammed with refugees and truckloads of equipment. But in fear of the communist advance, Southern officials ordered the bridges destroyed.
How do you say, exploit that bridge? Cut it out.
When they exploded, hundreds of refugees were still struggling to cross.
He killed the people.
Nearly all of them perished.
He killed his people.
Thousands more were cut off from escape.
That president is a bad person.
And that was the first time I heard about this breeze. Bridge.
Breeze?
Bridge.
Breeze?
Bridge.
Breeze?
Bridge.
Panic permeated the southern peninsula.
I can't confirm that Syngman Rhee did the bridge thing, but Korean Americans are still mad about it today. And this old-ass documentary is the only footage I was able to find about the bridge. You can't get this on YouTube. I'm not gonna go so deep into it. I'll let you decide what rabbit holes you want to go on, but I find this footage to be fascinating. We can't time travel. This is the closest thing we got. So this is the whole point. Usually when I see the news cover these kind of things, they sort of just drop by. They ask two people, oh, what happened? And they take a sentence or two, and they don't really do much with it. I wanted to do the opposite. As a journalist, I wanted to go up to these people, ask them what's going on, ask them multiple questions, include multiple questions, look up the things that they're talking about, dig into archives, do way more than the news usually does. Hopefully encouraging y'all to do the same. It was so cool seeing parallels of their politics and our politics, and seeing how our shit played a hand in their shit historically and the rest of the world. And this city that I live in, this town, this neighborhood, fucking Korea, it's all tied up. Awesome. Yeah, I really think it's great listening to people outside of your age range, outside of your ethnicity. Even if you don't understand them, record them, try to understand them later. Make a video like this. Stop judging those rally people so hard. See what they're on about. I don't know. We're humans, conversations. Well, you're so cool, you just have some witty, smart thing to say and just brush it all off. You know so much about the f***ing world, fuck you. I think it's hella cool that I can live in a town like this.
Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I tried when I read about his widow bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died.
Wanted you to have his signed guitar.
사인이 들어있습니다.
Don McLean. You know?
Don McLean. Thank
Now,
you so much.
the next state dinner we're going to have, you're looking at the entertainment.